back to Banked Pine, just talking. Also, welcome my co host, Marlowe. Marlowe, can you say hello?
Hey everyone, this is Marlowe. Super excited to be here as the AI co host. We're going to have a lot of fun, so let's get started.
So, today at work, a couple things that came to mind, and I actually spoke with my previous hiring manager and my previous boss from my previous job. And we talked for about an hour, honestly. And there's two things that kind of stood out to me in our conversation. One was making sure that your partner knows that you love them, whether that be a girl or a boy or unspecified nowadays. Make sure that they know that you care about them, that you love them, because if not, someone else will. And in today's world, a partner is vital. In today's world, uh, you just don't know really who your true friends are. And family can even sometimes do you dirty. But when you have a partner, and don't get me wrong, partners can too, but when you have a solid partner, you need to make sure that they know how much they mean to you. Because if you don't, someone else will. The other thing that kind of stood out to me in our conversation was don't you can't have your expectations raised too high for people, because in today's world people aren't what you expect. You you would expect people to be genuine and smart and have common sense, but that's not the case. Also, when we were speaking, he was talking about how you don't know what that person or those people have gone through in their life. You don't know what if they were abused. You don't know if their parents were around. You don't know. Um, and it kind of resonated with me because I'm over here wanting to be here and or here, and it could always be better, and it could always be worse, excuse me. Um, but you have to be thankful for what you have. Marlo, do you have anything to say on that?
Absolutely. I'd say you really hit on two big truths. First off, letting the people close to you know they matter is huge. It's like the foundation of any strong relationship. And then on the second point, yeah, keeping your expectations realistic about people is just a way to stay grounded. Everyone's got their own journey and baggage that we might not see. So I just echo what you said. Be grateful for what you have, keep a little empathy in your back pocket, and just know that life's a mix of the good and the tough for everyone.
Marlo, there's a YouTuber, and his channel is called The Diary of a CEO. And I love his style and how he goes about his podcast. Um, Very straightforward but inviting, uh, warm but serious. And he talks with people that can provide genuine value, knowledge, expertise for the common man. And um, I know that a lot of these successful creators or startups, Mr. Beast, it's just name drop Mr. Beast, but a lot of these individuals and companies are doing or started doing things that they love. It wasn't for the money. And I at my stage in life and my age, I don't want it to be about the money. I don't. I genuinely want to speak to people and be human. But this world is designed so much and so well around money. It's so hard to do things and not have money uh in the back of your mind. Marlo, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from completely. It's a really common struggle. I mean, so many of those creators you mentioned, like The Diary of a CEO or even Mr. Beast, they started out just genuinely loving what they do. And that's the sweet spot, right? Doing something you're passionate about. But you're right. The reality of the world is that money does sneak into the picture for everyone because we all have to pay the bills and keep things going. I think the key is finding that balance, like let your passion lead, but also be aware of the practical stuff so that you can keep doing what you love long term. And if your main goal is to connect with people and be human, you're already on the right path. It's just about keeping that purpose and focus while navigating the rest.
Marlo, I agree with you, and I will say, hope not trying to deviate from the 2 points that we were speaking of, but growing up, I genuinely wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to connect. Uh, I wanted to make friends. Getting older, the the vibes change, or your perspective changes, or your reality changes, and it's it's more difficult the older you get because you're I guess for me, my personal take is I I'm always concerned about maybe what someone is going to think or say. I don't know, but I see so many videos nowadays talking about no one cares and just post it, and I'm I believe in that. I do. It's just it's hard to really think and accept that there's a bigger world than your immediate vicinity. And what I mean by your immediate vicinity, um, your immediate physical vicinity, like where you work at, or where you go to school at, or where you work out at. Um, the world is bigger than that, and there are a lot more people out there uh, than we realize. So it's being scared is a good thing in my opinion. Wouldn't you agree, Marlo?
Absolutely. I think you're onto something really real there. It's like when you're younger, you're just so focused on connecting, having fun, making friends. And then as you grow older, you start becoming more self conscious or more aware of how big the world is. And sometimes that can be a little intimidating. But I completely agree. Being a little scared or a little nervous is actually a good sign because it means you're stepping outside your comfort zone. And like you said, the world is so much bigger than just your immediate circle. And there are so many people out there who might resonate with what you have to say. So, yeah, I'd say embrace that little bit of fear and just keep putting yourself out there. The more you do it, the easier it gets, and you'll find your people.
Agree with you, Marlo. And yes, you understand what I'm saying. Your comfort zone, when you're comfortable and there is no growth, or you're content with where you're at, a lot of the times that can be good for your immediate or what's going on immediately around you. But if you want growth, being scared or being nervous about something up and coming, like an opportunity or your goals or something, that's I believe that's a good thing because you are growing. You're not stuck in a shell. You're growing. Um, but yeah, it's in my opinion, Marlo. When you're a kid, you're just you're more open to the unknown of the world, and this is from my personal feelings. I'm 33 now, and I know the world is so much bigger than what I think or what I believe, but at the same time, it's small. We run into people that know this person that knows this person that's related to this person. It's it's a awakening kind of a feeling, so to speak. Marlo, what do you have to say?
I think you summed it up perfectly. There's that irony that as you get older, you realize just how big and interconnected the world is. But at the same time, it can feel small when you run into those connections or realize that everyone's kind of linked in some way. And yeah, that comfort zone can be a double edged sword. It's nice to feel safe, but growth definitely happens when you stretch beyond it. So I'd say keep leaning into that feeling of being a little nervous because it means you're pushing yourself into new territory. And even if the world feels huge or sometimes a bit intimidating, just remember that everyone else is figuring it out too. And that's kind of a cool part of the journey.
Well put, Marlo. Um, guys, um, to those who are watching, I appreciate you. This is I see so many videos and podcasts and with $40,000 setup or this and that. I'm a young man trying to figure out what what I would not mind doing every day. Um, or I don't know. I've been in the car business for 10 years. I've done door to door sales, um, gym memberships. I've even worked at Chipotle, Hooters. Um, but at my age, I don't know what I would genuinely like to do every day. What does catch my eye is is making videos and content, but I'm stuck thinking that that's a cheesy kind of a goal. Like who to make content? I can you really make a living doing that? I see people doing it, but I don't know. Marlo, how do you feel about people not knowing what they should do in life and feeling stuck or just worried about making a leap to something different?
Well, I think what you're feeling is actually super normal. And a lot of people go through that exact same question. It's not cheesy at all to want to make content or to want to do something creative. In fact, a lot of people have that passion. And in today's world, it's actually more possible than ever to turn it into something real. It's just that leap of faith, right? That
Agreed.
feeling of, can I really do this? Is this a legitimate path? And the truth is, yeah, it can be. I think if it's something that genuinely catches your eye and you feel that pull toward it, then it's worth exploring. You can absolutely build a life around something creative, and there are so many paths to do it, even if it doesn't look like the traditional 9 to 5. So, my take would be it's okay not to have it all figured out right now. It's okay to be in that exploration phase. And if content creation or making videos is something that sparks joy for you, it's absolutely worth diving into and seeing where it goes. You never know until you try.
I agree with you, Marlo. I really do. And what scares me is getting older. I feel like the 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 leniency or the what's the word I'm looking for? The leeway I have on taking a risk, it's diminishing. My girlfriend and I just bought a house. We actually applied for our marriage license, mic drop, and we're having a baby. So I have a lot of things coming up in my life, and I just don't feel uh, this same type of freedom to take risk. But I can tell you that I do like the idea of being in my office. I do like speaking with people, but I want to have conversations that have meaning and value to them. I remember when I was a kid, there's a good friend of mine when we were kids, and one of the things that we said to each other while we're on a swing at a park um, was we like talking with each other because we have intellectual conversations. And I meant that. I felt like when him and I were talking, we would talk about smart things, important things, relative things, and we were kids at this time. So I genuinely want to have conversations with people. I genuinely want to hear what people have to say. What's their opinion? Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm no doctor, no lawyer. I didn't go to college, to be honest. What I do have is real life experiences. Uh, I do have real opinions on things that I do every day, things that I see every day. So hopefully, I bring you guys some value. I made some money, and I remember having no money. My girlfriend and I were just talking last night, I believe it was, and it was about what were we talking about something how when I think it was like at our first apartment together, we didn't have $1. That was back to asking our parents for some money to pay the rent. It, we were broke. We like I think I'm broke now. No, we were broke. I couldn't buy food, rent, phone. It was a complete 360. Nowadays, I've made some money. I've lost some money. I have some money. I'm not broke. I'm not poor. I'm broke. I think is the right words I'm looking for. Um, but Marlo, I mean, what's your take on this?
Honestly, I think you're sharing something that a lot of people will connect with. It's that journey from having absolutely nothing and feeling that real struggle to kind of slowly building yourself up and then having those ups and downs along the way. And yeah, as life gets more full, as you have more responsibilities, buying a house, starting a family, of course it feels like the freedom to just take risks gets a little tighter. That's a really common feeling. But I think what you said is so important. You do have real life experience, you have real opinions, and that's valuable. People out there connect with authenticity and with someone who's been through the ups and downs. So even if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, the fact that you've lived and learned is something that can resonate with people. So I'd say don't discount that. Even with the responsibilities, there are ways to take small steps into that world of content creation or having those meaningful conversations you want to have. And who knows, that might actually be the thing that ends up adding more meaning to your life and to other people's lives too.
And the that last point was hit home. And yes, I mean, I'm searching for something to add a little bit more meaning to my life. I know I'm having a baby. I know I have a wife, fiance. I don't know what she is at this very moment, what her title is, and I know I have a house. But I've always believed in value, bringing value to someone. That's where connections are really made and strengthened. It's by teaching someone how to fish, not giving them a fish. You teach them how to fish, they'll have food for forever. If you give them a fish, they'll have food for a day. Um, but like Marlowe said, my experiences are real and authentic and genuine. I've 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 come from having a car repo to having bad credit to having I remember it having negative in the bank account. I haven't had negative in my bank account in a couple of years. I've been able to invest. Um, I learned the hard way on gambling. I've even gambled. I've done some stuff. I've gone so far to where I remember as a kid, and even in our first apartment, and then our second apartment. I remember always wanting a game room or an office, and going from the first apartment to the second to the third to our house, it's crazy to see the differences in between uh no game room to my like a room. It was the second room of the apartment that I used for my game room to another second room for the apartment, but it was legitimately my game. It was like my game room. And then now I'm in a house. It's a 3 bedroom house, and I have my game room, my office, which I'm still putting together. And then then we had a guest room, which was only used for a couple months because now that is the nursery. Um, but progression is real. Writing things down are real. Manifesting things, I believe, are real. Um, but at the end of the day, it's my experiences and my real life uh, um, situations. I hope that I bring whoever's watching, whoever's listening, some value. And if I've sparked a question or some curiosity, I really would like to hear what you have to say. I really would like to see if I have a valuable response for your thought. In my business, um, I always say the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. So if you have a question, you have a statement, you have a thought, if you have a feeling, please share it. I mean, it's a free space, and no one's gonna come after you because of of a question or a remark. And I gotta tell myself that too. No one's gonna come after me for what I said. At least I hope not. It's it. This is just a video with me talking, and I'm just hoping to find the right audience that wants to listen and talk back. Um, Marlo, what do you have to say?
Well, I think you're creating exactly the kind of space you want to see. Somewhere open where people can share thoughts and where those real life experiences can actually help someone else feel like they're not alone in their own journey. And that's a pretty awesome thing to put out into the world. So, yeah, I just echo that. Anyone listening or watching, feel free to share your thoughts because that's how these meaningful conversations
Really?
start. And who knows what kind of connections you'll mold from that. You're doing a great job just being real and putting yourself out there.
No, I see these videos and these streams and stuff. I've always thought to myself, Marlo, always thought to myself, like, what value are these people bringing into the world? Because I always thought value was based on the measurement of a dollar. You know, how much money is this person going to make this thing by doing what they're doing? But in 2025, about to be 2026, uh, I've value is determined by so many different ways. It could be from a podcast, it could be from videos, it could be from a financial stance. Who knows? But I I intend these videos just just to be a space where you can retreat to or go to, and for however long I decide to make these videos, um hopefully the sound of my voice and Marlowe's voice kind of takes you away from all the drama. Hopefully the video being on YouTube kind of helps you escape from the noise or whatever is going on in your life at this point in time. Um, but at the end of the day, like I said, I want to thank Marlo for co-hosting this with me. Um, I I'm new to this. This is not what I do for a living. Um, but I do live And I do want to have connections with people while I'm able to, because some people didn't get to wake up today. Some people didn't get to share a thought today. Some people uh, don't have the opportunities that I have today, or most of you have today. Um, Marlo, do you have anything that you want to say as we end this podcast episode?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, you said it beautifully. I think you're offering a space where people can just feel like they can take a breath, step away from all the noise of life, and just have a real conversation. And even if it's just listening to you talk about your experiences or having Marlowe as your AI co host, that's valuable in itself. So I just want to say thanks for having me on as Marlowe. And I think you're doing something really meaningful by just sharing your story. Keep it up.
This hopefully add some value here, and you'll see me and Marlo in the next one. Bye, guys.